Hi, I'm Jessica here at Nautilus Mission Control at the Inner Space Center in Rhode Island. And we're joined today by the chief scientist for the Nautilus, Katy Croff Bell, who's actually in the studio on the ship right now. So welcome, Katy. Thanks so much for joining us today. And I know that today is our first day of leg 3 off the coast of Santorini, Greece. So why are we in this area? Why is it scientifically interesting?
Well, thank you so much, Jessica, for having me. First of all, I've been sitting on shore for the past month and a half, and I'm very excited to finally be out here on the Nautilus for this third leg of the field season. Santorini is a very important place for us. We discovered a hydrothermal vent field in the underwater volcano Kolumbo in 2006. Kolumbo is a volcano that's completely submerged. It goes from about 15 meters water depth all the way down to 500 meters. And so it's very, very deep and very, very active. We find hydrothermal vents here. That's where water gets down into the seafloor, into the crust, and gets superheated and very enriched in all sorts of different types of minerals. And then it comes back out into the water column and deposits all of these minerals and creates very large chimney structures. In addition to the hydrothermal vents, we're able to study the history of Kolumbo by looking at old deposits. So the combination of studying the history of the volcano and the current activity gives us a better picture of the entire history of Kolumbo and can also help us to potentially predict future hazards that could occur in this area.
So what are your main research goals for this leg?
This is actually the third year that we have been studying Kolumbo volcano. We first discovered the hydrothermal vents in 2006. We returned last year and collected a very large number of geological samples, so we're starting to get an idea of the sort of geological history of the area. And right now we're more interested in the biology and the chemistry, so what's actually coming out of these vents and how does it affect the water and the ecosystem here. So what we're going to be doing over the next several days is to collect a lot of water samples and also a lot of biological samples, in particular the bacteria, and you're going to see a lot of orange and white and gray sort of fuzzy stuff all over the seafloor, and that's the bacteria that you're seeing.
You mentioned that there's a lot of bacteria at these vent sites. How are they able to survive there?
Well, the bacteria at these vent sites actually thrive in this environment. They are creating energy from the mineral-rich and very warm waters that are coming out of the hydrothermal vents. The waters that we've recorded, their temperatures get up to over 200 degrees Celsius. And in a lot of cases, you wouldn't find any sort of life there in other parts of the world. But these bacteria, this is where it's at for them. And in other hydrothermal vent areas, you can find all sorts of megafauna, which is bigger stuff than bacteria. You see tube worms, you see fish and crabs and all sorts of other critters. And in Kolumbo, it's very different. We don't see that happening. So that's actually one of the things that we're very interested in, is why we don't see these larger types of organisms. And we think that the key to that is a better understanding of what is coming out of the hydrothermal vents. So that's one of the reasons why we're studying the chemistry of the water.
Well, thank you so much, Katy, for taking the time to talk to us today.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Again, I'm Jessica here at Nautilus Mission Control. Stay tuned at nautiluslive.org. And now back to the action on the ship.